Welcome back to our Hail implementation series. In this video, we're going to go over repair agreements, how they protect your business and your customers, and how a comprehensive repair agreement is really the foundation for a successful Hail job. So first off, let's talk about why you need a repair agreement. Repair agreements help you to set clear expectations, outline key aspects of your operation for both parties regarding repairs, costs, responsibilities, and more. It also helps to define what you will and what you won't be doing in your repair service that you're providing. It also helps to manage and protect your liability by minimizing disputes and clearly outlining obligations in the terms of the repairs and just your agreement for what you're going to be doing, and legally safeguards your operation against claims and misunderstandings, because it happens sometimes. It's also going to help to guide customers to commit more repairs, which is a really key point that I think a lot of people miss, by providing customers clarity and confidence in your repair process and encouraging quicker and firmer customer commitments. Just think about this for a second. Whenever you sign a document, it's a psychological commitment. If you sign something, it's way more likely that you're going to follow through with it, okay? And that's the way that this works with your customers as well. So not only do repair agreements help to protect you from liability, help outline and set expectations and everything, repair agreements actually help you to get more customers to fully commit to letting you fix the car so that you can spend more time working with customers who are fully committed versus customers who haven't maybe fully committed over to the operation yet. That's why repair agreements are so critical for every company to use. Not just an optional thing, a mandatory thing you should be using with every single repair and every single customer that you work with. So before we get into it, we have a sample, a generator that you can use anytime at dentops.com/repair-agreement. We'll have that link in the description for this video. I just have to give this legal disclaimer that the template we're providing over is for reference and convenience only. You are ultimately responsible for ensuring the agreement complies with your local laws, regulations, and your specific operation, and we strongly advise consulting with your legal counsel. You can use it however you would like to. So use it as a sample for you to create your own. If you get the pass on it, then you can go ahead and just use it for your own operation. It's a 100% free, don't need to sign up for anything, repair generator. Again, dentops.com/repair-agreement. So with that being said, what I would like to do is I have the agreement here, and I'm going to be going through the key provisions so you really understand what all is in this agreement. We'll make it pop up and go away at different times. So first off, just bear with me here. The first key provisions in this repair agreement are going to be the repair authorization and financial responsibility. So let's talk about the repair authorization first. It's this very first section in here. This is just a dummy document, and we'll talk about how to generate this in a moment after we go through each of these key items. So the repair authorization and scope essentially lets the customer authorize you to perform inspections, diagnostics, and ultimately the repairs on the vehicle. It lets you to collect their data, their name, their phone number, so on and so forth, for the purposes of processing that job and processing that claim if it's an insurance claim, which most Hail jobs are insurance claims. And then it also gives you the permission to collaborate with third parties, such as Dent Ops. If a company like Dent Ops is helping you to write estimates, process claims, talk to customers, talk to insurance companies, so on and so forth. It just is a cross your T's, dot your I's kind of a thing to make sure that you're covering all your bases. So that's this first section, repair authorization and scope, just to make sure you understand. The second item here is going to be financial responsibility. Who's responsible for paying for the repairs? This whole second section here. Technically speaking, the customer is always responsible for paying for repairs, even if it's an insurance claim. So this is just outlining payment obligations, insurance payment procedures, and power of attorney provisions. This is essentially, if you're familiar with what's called a direction to pay, this is essentially a direction to pay. In this portion of the document, it's just stipulating the customer is responsible for these repairs. If the insurance company is paying for it, the customer is giving the insurance company to send payments directly to your repair facility to compensate for the repairs being performed. And in the case that the insurance company does pay the customer directly and the customer gives that check, or if it's a one-party check to the customer or a two-party check including the customer, it's essentially giving you a limited power of attorney or attorney in fact, just for the purposes of endorsing checks, depositing funds, communicating with insurers about the claims process. So that's the second key provision in here, financial responsibility and direction to pay. From there, We could talk about provisions, the repair process, and techniques. This section is primarily dealing with, first and foremost, repair methodologies, paintless dent repair versus conventional, right? Because this whole series is designed primarily for hail repair operations, whether that's mobile or local. That could be body shops, but a lot of times it's going to be PDR companies. And so we have a special clause in here just for PDR companies that specifies paintless dent repair as the primary method for restoring the vehicles to pre-loss condition, and just distinguishing between PDR and conventional repairs, notating that sometimes things might be written for conventional repairs for estimating purposes, or sometimes the insurance company might even write something for conventional repairs, even though the PDR company wrote an estimate for PR, and it's just basically saying that you shouldn't be held liable, you won't be held liable if you perform something with paintless dent repair for the benefit of the vehicle and for the vehicle owner. Another part in here that we talk about is OEM versus aftermarket parts, which is essentially this section here that says the repair facility generally prefers new OEM parts to maintain quality and safety. If the repair facility determines that reconditioned used or aftermarket parts will not adversely affect the vehicle's performance and the customer agrees, those may be used, but that those parts might affect the vehicle's resale value, violate lease or finance terms, or impact manufacturer warranty. So just kind of some protections on OEM versus aftermarket salvage, so on and so forth. And then one last piece in here is about additional and hidden damage, and it's what happens if you were to say write an initial estimate and you start going through the repair process and turns out there's actually more damage that's on here, or you discover that you're going to need to do more work in order to properly repair the car. It's basically just outlining, hey, if anything happens, then we have to create a supplement. It's possible we might discover additional damages throughout the repair process. So that's the repair process and techniques provision. Now, legal protection, we've got this as very fancy-dancy terms. I highly recommend digging into it a little bit more, speaking to an attorney about it. Lien, replevin, and expectancy damages. So essentially, your lien and replevin rights detail the repair facility's rights to secure payment and consequences of non-payment, including legal fees and recovery costs. It's like what happens if somebody doesn't pay, what do you have to do then? This is just outlining, hey, this is what happens if that happens. And then your warranty is going to be whatever you decide to set. A lot of shops like to do lifetime warranties on their work, but some maybe do a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever. You can choose what kind of warranty terms you want to provide, but warranty is just clearly defining a warranty on workmanship, enhancing your customer's confidence while specifying exclusions like manufacturer warranted parts as a part of this agreement. Now, there is one final key provision that I want to point out in this agreement, which is the right to cancel. It's this section right here. It's a small section, but it's a really, really critical section. And essentially, this provision states that your cancellation conditions and the fees to recover administrative costs and lost business opportunities. This basically just gives your customer the right to cancel repairs, makes it clear that they can cancel repairs if they want to, or to move their vehicle elsewhere, say they're going to take it to a different shop to get repairs done. It gives them the right to do that. However, these terms also ensure that your shop is going to be fairly compensated for the resources that have already been committed to the job. So for example, if you wrote an estimate already and spent the time writing an estimate, taking photos, doing all this documentation, if you performed any other work on the vehicle, like taking apart some parts, or even ordering parts that you now have to return, or if you've even done any of the administrative work related to processing the claim, this helps you to get compensated in case the customer cancels repairs and decides to either not get their car fixed at all or take it to a different location, or whatever the reasons are for canceling. So very, very common fees that we've seen as a part of this right to cancel, which you have the flexibility to set whatever fees you want. But one thing we've seen very commonly is if it's a claim, it's a cancellation fee of 10% with a minimum fee of $500. So whichever is greater, basically. Minimum $500 or 10% of the whole claim. So if that's a $10,000 claim, just as an example, that would be a $1,000 cancellation fee. And again, it's in recognition of the repair facility's administrative efforts, lost opportunities, and resources expended during the estimation, documentation, communications. You can read through this document, create your own sample at dentops.com/repair-agreement. And then the very last section in here is just basically saying this is the whole agreement, binding effect. So review this yourself and with your attorney if you would like, and feel free to use this however you would like to. If you want to use it as a baseline to create your own agreement, or if you just want to use this agreement out of the box. So let's talk about generating your agreement. So if I go here to dentops.com/repair-agreement, just to show you what this looks like, it's very, very simple. You can either plug in customers' information if you want, like our sample agreement here. We've got customer John Doe and the vehicle information and all that good stuff. We can either plug it in, or you can generate a blank reusable template. It's just going to put like underlines where you can manually fill in that information, so you can print off a whole bunch of these things. So you'll click next. You can choose what kind of warranty terms you want. It might be lifetime, 10 years, 5, 3. You can see all the options that are in there. Let's just say it's a lifetime warranty. We've got those default options plugged in here if you want to keep them and make this really easy on yourself. Do you want a percentage of the approved insurance amount? Do you want just a flat fee? What percentage? What is the minimum fee? So again, this is 10% of the claim, minimum $500 is what it's set to by default. And then the last step is plugging in your company details. This goes on the header of the estimate, and if you provide a tax ID, that'll also be provided up there as well, and it puts a sample name, and down on the signature line there, the right information. So you've got all your company details you can plug in here, and you can choose where we send this agreement. The system generates it in the background, and then it emails it over to you. So you can select send it to the company email address that you listed up right here, or you can specify a different email address that you want to send the agreement. You want us to send the agreement to. You just hit generate agreement. We've got our little disclaimer there again. It'll generate in the background, and it's fairly quick. It should be less than a minute. You should have this repair agreement in your email inbox. You can download, print off, send to your customer however you would like to use it. You'll have it right there. Quick and easy, nothing to sign up for, totally free. Use it how you would like. So again, dentops.com/repair agreement. Choose your options, set your terms, enter your company details, hit generate, check your email. Easy as that. You can create one, as many as you want, wherever you go to. And that's it for this module. So pretty quick and easy. Your next steps, if you didn't pause the video to generate your document as you went through the video, your next steps are to 1, generate your own repair agreement. Create your customized repair agreement at dentops.com/repair-agreement. We'll have that link in the description of this video as well. The second thing you need to do after you generate that document is review it. Make sure everything looks good. You don't need to tweak it for your operation. Maybe talk to some legal counsel about it. Make sure it's going to be a good fit for your business, wherever you're operating out of and the type of business that you're running. And then from that point, continue on with our Hail implementation series to keep on learning really great stuff and get more tools just like this, the same kind of thing, nice and free or easy to use. And we'll see you on the upcoming videos. Thanks for sticking around.